Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to February 15th. Holy cow, February's halfway gone, a little more than halfway gone. Today we're going to talk a little bit about removing objects from your images that you don't want. And it's easy to do. All I got to do is hit mute on you guys, and you guys disappear. Or in Photoshop, we'll make them disappear the other way. So, anybody have any questions before we get started? Going once, going twice. Okay, let's go ahead and go to, can everybody see my screen that looks like Photoshop?
Yep.
All right. West Coast School, June 5th through the 12th, 2022. Photoshop 0 to 60 in a week. If you haven't already, sign up now. Class is filling up. We more than doubled, or we actually doubled our enrollment last week. So you want to take that class. And if you don't want to do that class, here's a whole bunch more. You got Richard Sturdivant, Tony Corbell, Sandra Pierce, Tim Meyer, Joe Glida, the one and only Michael Collins, Eric Joseph, and Randy Van Dynen. You can see the classes that everybody's doing there. If you haven't been to West Coast School, oh my God, what are you waiting for? It is a blast. There's nothing like it in the world. So you definitely want to go to West Coast School. Okay, let's start with an easy one. And what we're going to do is take the bird out. And I don't use the clone stamp tool very much. And in this case, I'm not going to use the clone stamp tool. I'm going to use an action that I built myself. So what I'll do is I'll lasso the bird. And now that's selected. All I have to do is hit F3. And what F3 does on my computer, it's an action. If you want it, it's free. Just email me, michael@collinsphoto.com. And Collinsphoto is COLLINSFOTO.com. And I'll send you the action. It is basically expand 3 pixels, content aware fill, and then deselect. So easy money. So here we go. We're going to hit F3 and watch it work. I hope. Nope, it's not going to work because I went into Zoom. Here we go. F3, run, boom, done. Okay, it's a big file, so it'll take a second. And you can't tell if that bird was there. So let's go back a couple of steps. And what we'll do is go to Edit, Content Aware Fill, which is another way to do it. Give it a second to run. And then you can see it takes the bird out in the preview window. You can tell it what areas you want to use for filling in. So I'll take out the bottom area here just by sliding across there. It doesn't make any difference anyway, but don't want that bright spot in there. And then hit OK. And what I do here, close out that one, I output to a new layer. I don't know why I do that. I just do. It's the way I work. So I click OK. Output to a new layer. And what it does, it has just that little spot that it filled in. Command D to deselect. The reason I use the app or the action all the time is so that I don't have to deselect after I'm finished. I hit F3, it does everything for me. And so, well, it's only 3 or 4 steps. Well, it's 3 or 4 steps I don't want to make. And so from here, I just hit Command E to merge it down, and it's back in the area. And then bottom right, there's a tree branch here. So we'll select with the Lasso tool, L for lasso. Oops, I screwed up a little bit because I'm using my mouse. That's okay. Hold the shift key down, circle that area as well, hit F3, and boom. Bada bing, bada boom.
Ooh, not so good.
Not perfect, is it? Okay, let's do it the old-fashioned way then. Let's go ahead and do edit, content aware fill. And we'll take out a lot of this junk so we know where it's selecting from. And then click OK. Deselect. And you cannot really tell that it was taken out. So that's one quick way to do it. Command or Control W to close, don't save. Let's do, this is a really easy one. With the new Photoshop 2022, if you hit your object selection tool or W, it's going to pick out two objects in there, and you wait for a second. You wait for a second, and you wait.
Don't you have to put select subject?
No. There we go.
Oh, wow.
It automatically selects subject for you. If you have primary subjects in there, if you got multiples, it will do multiple subjects, and you can decide which one you want to do. So if I want the legs, I just click on the blue on the legs, and it now selected it for me. Oh, cool. If I want the dog only, I click on the dog, and it selects the dog. Not a perfect selection. Some of the foot's missing. If I want both, I hold the shift key and click on it. Hold the option key to get rid of one, or the alt key, depending on your Mac or PC. So let's say I want to get rid of the legs and the sweater or the Pendleton in there. I hit F3, my magic action, and it took everything out except right here, it left a shadow and a little highlight where the feet were at. And I want to know why. Oh, object selection tool, deselect. Let's go to Lasso. I was wondering why it made a smaller circle than what I did. I actually had the wrong tool selected. Hit F3 again, boom, gone. And then if you want to take out the little dots in here, I won't take them all out, just take a few out. You'll notice that all the scratches and stuff are lighter than the background is. So I'm going to go to my healing brush, which is J for healing brush. I'm going to go content aware mode. I'm going to change to multiply or darken. I'm going to go to multiply and just kind of swipe over them. You notice I'm not being really careful about swiping. I'm just kind of sweeping over them. But it gets rid of the light spots really fast that way. Use the healing brush, go into multiply or to darken. And what it will do is take the lighter areas, make them darker, and not worry about the darker areas. So if you want to control your healing brush, that's how you do it. Fast, easy, and effective. Any questions? It's going to be a quiet day today, huh? Okay. Guess what? I had a dirty
sensor.
dirty sensor, and I don't know if that's a bug, a helicopter, or something else up there. But Camera Raw has this great feature for taking sensor dust out. You go to the little band-aid up here. It's called spot removal, or if you hit B, it will bring it up. hit spot removal. And what you can do is you can just click on each of the spots and find a clean spot to do. Well, I can't see all the spots perfectly, so I will go to visualize spots, and holy cow, just start clicking on all the big bright spots that you see. I'm not going to do them all. I'm just going to do quite a few, or a few. That's how fast you can take the spots out. So I've got what, 20 spots done. And we'll go back out of visualize spots, and you can see those on there. And while we're at it, let's do a little perspective change on the pole and on the flag poles. So we'll go down to geometry. And then I will click on the little tic-tac-toe right here, which is guided. And what it wants you to do is draw two lines to straighten it out for you. So I'll draw it along the side of the pole there. And let's just do this pole here. And then it straightened them out for you. It did do a little bit of cropping on the side, which makes it a little bit more of a challenge. But if I do a crop, let's say 8 by 10, go to my preset, 8 by 10, make it 10 by 8. I didn't even have to take that pole out. But if I take the pole out like I did, you've got this wire running through there. The fastest way, well, there's several ways. One, let's try the lasso tool. And I'm really sucking because I'm using my mouse and not my pen tool. And I gotta add a little bit here, hold the shift key down, add some there, add a little there. Try F3, my magic. And then down here, same thing. And voila.
Mikey, could you just do that with, instead of doing that, just put content aware and just fill in the sides?
Okay, so we got that back. So we'll do edit content aware fill. Is that the one, Roger? And that takes it. Yeah, that'll do the same thing. Then you have to hit deselect, and you can see, zoom in. It took it out really easily. You can also do the clone stamp tool. So let's deselect, hit S for clone stamp. Make it big enough so I don't miss. Take a sample here on the side. Click there to start it. Hold the shift key down. Click there. And it works, right? That is the clone stamp. Oh, it's in multiply mode. No wonder. When something's not working like it's supposed to, what you do is check your toolbar across the top. It was in multiply mode because I was doing something else earlier today. So I'll do my sample, option click or alt click. Click at the very start, shift click at the very end, and it took most of it out. It's a little longer that way, but it does work. Then we'll option click up here, take that bad boy out. And if you do too high, you notice a change in color in the sky. We got a change in color in the sky there. So that didn't work very well. So I'll do my lasso trick and take it out that way. But that's how fast you can take things out that you don't want in there. Just a matter of hitting the right key and making it happen. Questions on that one?
Easy peasy.
Hoping. Let's get a little bit more.
Mikey,
Yes, sir.
just go back to that one just before this.
Okay, let me close that. Go back to my Camaro.
Yeah, no, what I was meaning earlier on, the edges at the side,
Uh-huh.
could that be filled in with content aware, and then you wouldn't lose the power pole?
The right side, I could content aware pretty easily. So we'll just select that area, do the F3 trick, and we added a pole. We don't want the pole. We'll just do it over again and take the pole out, I hope. Nope. Problem is it sees the pole there. So what I'll have to do is go to edit, content aware fill, and we'll say we don't want this pole, and it should. Why are you adding pole in there? We don't want pole. For some reason, it doesn't want to get rid of the pole. Edit, content aware fill. This time you're going away, whether you like it or not. Click OK. Deselect, and it's still getting that in there. So It's embarrassing when you do this perfect presentation and Roger screws it up with a stupid question.
And he's going to be in your class for a whole week. Be
I
prepared.
know. There we go. That fixed it.
That's better.
Yeah. And this side over here, you probably cannot do because you have the building to work with. Okay. I'm moving to my Wacom tablet. Let's see if I can do it right now. Let's go to, you know what? We'll do it this way. M for marquee. Use a rectangular marquee tool. And then I'll use the lasso tool with the option to delete this area here. And if I hit F3, which is the content aware fill, it's spinning, 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 thinking, that's not too bad.
Okay, I'll stay in your class.
And what I'll do is use the clone stamp tool, line up. You'll notice as I move the clone stamp, there's a bit of a, you can see it moving there. What you do is you line up so it continues on with a straight line, and it cleans it up for you. You use that line to your advantage. And there it looks like almost a building. Wow. I even impressed myself on that one. We done with this one?
Yeah, not bad for an amateur.
Someday I'll be a real photographer just like you, Roger. Okay, again, look at the perspective on the side of the building. We'll take care of that first. Just draw a line down that side, draw a line down this side. Yeah, I can live with that. It'll save a little bit of what I don't want to do anyway. And I'm not going to worry about the exposure, etc. I'm just doing this for showing how to take things out. And I like to get rid of street signs and stuff like that. So I'll just hit the lasso tool. Probably if I crop it, it does all the work for me. So again, with the F3, we have little signs right there. Go over to the other side. And I got a parking sign right here. So hit L for lasso. And this time we'll do edit content aware fill. And you're going, what the heck? Why is it not doing it? Because my layer wasn't selected. And you can see in your preview over here, and you can make it bigger, that it's not quite working like I want it to. So if I hold my option key down, paint that in, paint that one in, it fixed it fairly good. So we'll hit OK. We'll hit OK. Deselect. And it did leave a little spot right here. No problem. Healing brush, J for healing brush. J for healing brush. And the reason why it's not working is because layer 2 is selected because I had it build it to another layer. So if you hit Command or Control E or come up here to merge visible or flatten image, now I can paint it in. And what would happen is I would have to go up on my window at the top up here, change it to normal again, and then go back to where it says sample all layers. Right now, Zoom is covering up my sample all layers, so I can't, there we go. Right up here, it says sample all layers. So if you have 2 layers up there, let's see if I can get back, there we go. Click on sample all layers, it should clean it up for you.
Mike, what's the difference between flatten and merge visible?
If I had, hang on, let me, okay, you see that I have 5 copies up there. If I do a merge visible, it did all 5.
Okay.
Let's try this one. Merge visible. It should just go down 1 layer.
Well, all your layers are visible. Mike, turn the eye off one of the layers, make one of them invisible and see if it keeps it.
Okay, what if you look, merge visible, the keyboard shortcut is Shift Command E or Shift Control E. I guess it's merging everything down. If I do merge down, which is Command or Control E, it'll go 1 layer at a time. So,
hey, Michael, hold down the Option key.
On merge visible?
Yeah.
Okay, so Option Command E?
No, just when you do the merge visible, hold down
Okay.
the Option key. And it changes it to stamp visible.
Okay. So it's equivalent to doing the claw, as we call it, the Shift Option Command or Shift Alt Control E, which is adding that up there.
Unfortunately, It doesn't work on Windows.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Just kidding. So if I hit Command E, it'll take one layer at a time. So the difference between flatten image, if I go flatten image, it'll change it to background. Whereas if I do the merge visible, it leaves this as layer 1.
Okay,
Thank you for the question, Roger. You're fired again.
good. Well, make sure I get my money's worth.
You are getting your money's worth today for sure. And a lot of times before you start taking things out of the picture, crop your image. It'll save you a little bit of work. So if I hit Lasso Tool and select this right here, hold the Shift key down, lasso this, I hit F3, pa-dum. Now you have everything taken out. Okay. One thing you can do is go to Edit, Sky Replacement. I love the color of the sky, but I want to make it more stormy. You can see the building is bright, so I got to bring the brightness up on my sky a little bit so that it kind of matches in a little. And did you know with Photoshop, you can now import skies from your files. You can import up to, I believe it's 1,000 at a time. Not that I want 1,000 skies in here, but you can import basically as many as you want at one time. So you put all your good skies into one folder and import them in. So if I click on Merge Visible, that brings it to layer 1. Okay. Now a little bit more challenge. This is actually easier than it looks.
Is that a little Mikey?
I don't believe it is. I just dug it out of my parents' file, and I don't think that's Mikey. Got too much hair.
No,
A couple of things you can do. One is the lasso tool, and then do edit, content aware fill. Click OK. Command E to get it lower again. This time we'll do F3, and it left an extra leg there. I don't want that. And then we'll go in here really tight. And just kind of little by little, you're taking out the pieces. And then you got to zoom in really tight. And I'm going to use the stamp tool, S for stamp. Or you can go over here and find the stamp tool. There it is, right there. And I'm going to do my selection right underneath where I want to start working. And just build it in again. And occasionally you will get cloning tracks, multiple tracks there from your cloning. Just take them out little by little. Don't panic over them. And then from the top, you want to darken that area, just like the top, and just build it in. And I'm going to cheat here. Lasso, get rid of it. Lasso, get rid of it. Go to stamp. And when you're getting in this tight, you're probably not going to notice it when you have your final product and it's printed on a 5x7. Let's go ahead, just bring in that color over here to match it up a little bit. You can see I got 2 dots on fingers there. Just take it out. Easy peasy. Got a little line right there, so I'll use the healing brush for that line right there. And then you got another line at the top, which is an easy repair because it is by itself. So I'll just use the lasso tool. And the same thing there. You can also use the healing brush tool. There is J, where's J? The patch tool. And you make your selection with the patch tool or your lasso tool, and you just drag it up. So we have that there. We just drag it up to a spot you want to use, and it's gone. You can do the same thing here. So if you're in a hurry, just want to use your patch tool. Make sure you get a good selection there instead of getting the white on top of it. And if you get too close to the edge, it's going to mess you up a little bit and start dealing with the white there. So that's not going to work there. Command D to deselect. We'll do the healing brush or the clone stamp. Make sure when you're using the clone stamp, you use a soft edge brush, because anytime you use a hard edge brush, we'll change the brush on this to hard edge, 100% hard. Let's go ahead and just to show you the difference. That's a hard edge brush. That's a soft edge brush. You'll notice when you're cloning things out, the hard edge brush will show cloning tracks really fast. So you got to be careful of that. And then we'll just go to the regular healing brush, spot healing brush, and just take out some of these dots here in the picture. So when you're doing retouching like that, and you have a spot from scanning or whatever, the healing brush, spot healing brush is your friend. Questions or comments? No questions, no comments?
How
You
would
do-
you go about trying to sharpen that up, or could you not?
You want to try and sharpen it? Let's
I'm
go to,
finding it if possible, because it's
okay, let's go to image mode, see what mode we're in, grayscale. Let's go to RGB color, go to filter, Topaz Labs, Sharpen AI is what I would use to sharpen. I use Sharpen AI to sharpen everything now. I'm in love with this program. Most of the time, it does not over sharpen. So let's click apply. It's a small enough file. Oh, it went fast. So we'll go to history. Just a little bit sharper.
Hey, Mike, why the RGB? Yeah,
Because Sharpen AI won't work in grayscale mode.
Hmm.
So if I go to grayscale mode, and then go to filter to my topaz sharpens. It's not there.
Gotcha. Okay.
So when you try to run something and it's not working, a lot of programs only work in RGB color or CMYK lab. They won't work in grayscale because it's looking for colors to work with. So, and if you want to sharpen it even more, make sure it's in RGB color. You can hit Shift Command F. And it runs the sharpen filter one more time. And then with topaz, you have to run through their processing again. But let's go before and after. So it is a little bit sharper that way.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, I got a question.
I got an answer, I hope.
Have you tried dust and scratches under filter noise?
I have. Let's go back to this one. Filter noise, dust and scratches right there. Let's go. A small radius, because what it does, it tends to soften the image as well. Bring my threshold up a little bit. And that will take care of a lot of the spots that you saw in the beginning. But you can see it softened it a whole lot more. But yeah, dust and scratches does get rid of the spots. I just get in a zone and start zapping out all the spots, and before I know it, they're gone. Let's change it to RGB color. We'll run the filter one more time. You can also run denoise on this as well. That has a little bit of sharpen in it as well. So there is a little bit of sharpen there, which brings it back after the dust and scratches. Be careful with dust and scratches because it can soften your image a little bit.
Mike, I have a technical question. You know, when you're doing the healing brush, the little circle, and it shows a spot where you're erasing everything. I call it ghosting. How do you get rid of that ghosting thing where you just put the circle over and click on it, it disappears?
So if I use the healing brush here, we'll make it a big healing brush so you can see it.
Yeah. Oh, that there. Okay, but sometimes I get the ghosting inside that circle. It's like it's a ghost when I run over stuff. There was one key that takes it away, and for the life of me, I can't figure it out anymore. So
it doesn't always work like taking things out there.
Yeah.
So I have to clone in that back in again.
Okay. Oh.
Any other questions? Okay, this one's a little bit more complex. It's a pain in the tush. But if you have an image with a lot of people in it, I am going to right click on the 3 images that I picked up, and I'm going to go to Tools, Photoshop, Load Files in Photoshop Layers. So it's going to make one file with all 3 as layers. and it takes a second. Takes a couple of seconds. And the best way to do this is make sure you're on a tripod. Very important to be on a tripod to pull this off. And you can see why you need to be on a tripod. You can see as I click the eye off on each layer, you can see the movement that I had. I tried to focus on one spot with my viewfinder so that I have the same image, but it didn't quite work. So what I'm going to do is shift click to select all 3 layers. I am going to go to Edit, Auto Align Layers. I'm going to use auto because it's probably the best thing going right now. And then you can now see as we do this that the building is nice and selected, or I mean nice and stable. The people, on the other hand, are moving, which is what you want. Because if we get the people moving, we can remove them just by doing the layers. So if I do the top layer from the next one, I'll show you quickly. This person here, click off the top layer, they moved. So what I'll do is put a layer mask on. Layer mask is the little square donut right here at the bottom. I'm going to paint with black, B for brush, make sure that I'm 100%, and say goodbye. Go over here. This guy, a lot of him is going to go away. It's not perfectly lined, so I got to go up higher, which I don't like doing. And if you have to repaint something in, just hit X and it changes the colors.
Why isn't that not affecting the rails?
Why is what?
Why is that brush not affecting the handrails?
Because the handrail is not perfectly aligned with everything else.
Okay.
It just didn't get a perfect alignment there. And then you just figure out which people you can take out and which people you can't in this layer. So this guy right here can go bye-bye. That's why you work on a tripod, is so you can have the building line up perfectly. So let's take out this nice lady here. And what you do is just go down each layer and get rid of the people. I only shot 3 shots, so it's a little bit of a challenge to get everybody gone. If you can't get everybody gone, what you'll have to do is make sure you're on the right. Don't want to be on your mask. You can see the mask right here has an outline around it. Click on the building on my brain fart. Click on the icon right here. And I'm going to use the clone stamp tool just above his head, line up the lines. And just take them out a little at a time. And then what you have to do is go here and remove the cloning tracks. And then from the right side, you click some stairs and make sure that they're lined up when you go across. And you can get the stairs going across there too. So that's how you take them out. If you do enough pictures, you won't have to do very much cloning there. And there's some people that just don't want to leave the scene. These guys are okay. They'll be easy to take out. But there's some people that are just going to be in your way no matter what you do. These people on the upper pillar there, they may stay there for 5 minutes while you're waiting for that final shot to get them out of the way. But they moved. That's a good thing. But then you got somebody else there, so you have to paint them out. Then you have to paint that out. There's going to be some cloning involved there. So then you just have to go in and clone things out. Randy Van Dynen is great about teaching this. He's also teaching at West Coast School. He'll show you how to do this as well, I believe. So hopefully, if you're not taking my class, you can take his class or Sandra's or anybody like that. So
I took Randy's class a couple, 2-3 years ago, and it was one of the best classes I've ever taken.
he is a very fun instructor.
Saying
Good.
that, I have never taken Michael's class, so I can't compare. I'm sure Michael's is even better.
Actually, we have a lot of fun in our class. And we're going to go on
No
Thursday
doubt.
night when we do our outing. We'll probably go down to across the bay from the city and shoot the cityscape doing a pano and then stitch it in class on Friday morning. Well, that's always fun. Any questions? Okay, let me turn off the recording.
Magic, Mikey.